Okay, so I'm not sure if you guys can see me. Um, so I'm just live streaming this. I don't know. I actually don't even know if it gets recorded. But I'm kind of just doing this for myself, just to have fun. My channel is Self Taught Dad. I'm a software engineer, tech lead at Capital One in the digital payment space. I have experience working at Zoom, at Discover Financial, and some startups earlier in my career. So kind of like what the channel's title is, self-taught. Everything I've done is self-taught. I'm a self-taught developer. I kind of navigated throughout school just on a whim, trying to figure everything out. Everything I do is self-taught. Home improvements, uh, doing condo rentals, flipping houses. Always just trying to do something. Always just trying to have fun. I recently actually just went to a online bachelor's of science program. Did a few courses there, and something that was irking me while I was going through it was there wasn't a lot of excitement to actually build anything. The learning material felt very dry. There's books that you can read that would take you maybe a month to read, and it would cover 5 times as much as the curriculum or the course that you're taking. If you want to learn about compilers, there's tons of books, there's resources online that will tell you just read these like 8 chapters. You'll learn significantly more if you just sit down and read those chapters. If you want to apply things, start building things, there's boot.dev, which everyone's getting slammed with. There's um, just other resources, YouTube channels you can start building, and that's what I'm kind of doing right now. I'm looking at what we're doing here, and I had these up right here because like even this, looking at this right here just seems just so much better than something like let's see, the most popular program right now is which one is it? Georgia Tech. Where yeah, this like look how boring this looks. Awesome, I'm ready. But it's a good program, very good. Anyone who goes through this deserves all the credit because it is a very difficult program. I have a few friends that went through this. But I don't know, like a lot of these classes, like some of these actually look these AI ones look 5G. That seems uh, pretty good, but maybe I'm just being too harsh. And even App Academy, where this was big back in 2016, 2017, looks like they added cybersecurity, data analytics, all these other paths. But this one was really big, where a gentleman, Hasib Khashari, went through it. He wrote about it. Hasib Q. I know his blog is pretty good, and he went from studying English. The guy's clearly very smart, and he did poker playing after school or during school and made a good chunk of change there and kind of pivoted into tech and has been writing about it since. So this guy's fascinating. Okay, so I'm just trying to build out this guy here. I'm gonna pull this out and what's going on with you can't see that one's still over there. Let's see if I can minimize this window. Did that work? No, not good. Let me see if I can just reshare it. Right here. Yeah, all right. So I worked at Zoom for a while. I worked on the contact center, and we leveraged like web RTC, RPC. What is it? Web RTC. RTC. That's right. The architecture at Zoom was pretty different, but we did use part of WebRTC for our web apps. And Zoom's a great product if everyone's used this product by now, especially if you're not too young. But something I don't like about how Zoom is now versus how it was before is it was really easy to just create a web link and share that pretty quickly to get a video call going. And I think you have to sign in now. Maybe you always had to sign in, but I remember people just sending me links and I was able to join a video call pretty quickly. Especially in 2020, like this was really popular. And in the startup world, it's really popular as well, and that's how they got their foothold. their main competition was Cisco. What is it? It's WebEx. Yeah, WebEx meetings. I think a lot of enterprise companies were using this, and Microsoft Teams has gone the distance as of late to kind of compete. But I think Zoom just offers the best video conferencing product, and that's what they are. They're enterprise level, so they're focusing on conferences and looking at like the grades of conferences. Right, when you go from like 1-on-1 to 1 to 30 teams to what if you're doing like a live event like we had during the pandemic, where you're going to have millions of customers, the architecture was much more complicated than just WebRTC. So just going back to WebRTC really quick, we can kind of see what this architecture is, and I'm trying to vibe code this right now to make just a simple app. I'm going to throw it out there and see how it does. One of like some of the things I have to consider, like security. Maybe if you're doing something like you want to share this link, but you don't want other people joining your link, right? You don't want them modifying something and spying on you if they're able to hide their participation in a link. Some things that I saw at Zoom in the earlier days, not too early, like it was a developed product. I joined right after their first big security Zoom bombing, I think it was called, right? People were doing online lectures and then other people were just guessing the URL to join. So like in this little demo right here, like this URL, like if you just change a number, this is not going to do anything. But Zoom during the time, you could filter through this here and find a valid room, and people would do that and join lecture halls or corporate meeting events, and that was a huge security concern. There are some other security concerns in their terms of architecture, but they resolved them since. But that one was the one that like just kids were having fun with and joining random corporate quarterly calls. So I got like 15 minutes before I have to jump out. So I'm gonna like right now I got this up and running. Like if I go to the local host here, is it running? Let me just bring this guy over here. We'll just toggle between these two. Let's see. Yeah, you can't see it. I think it's not toggling between it. But what if I? Oh, it's just showing the screen. Okay, I got my terminal up and going. So I should be able to go to this. It's not. Let's just try over here. All right, let me stop this. So what's happening right now? I'm testing this on Firefox. If I pull up a Google tab, the video will start capturing on the web app. But here we go. I just want to start a meeting. Cool. I can't get my camera. Access permission denied, and I'm trying to figure out the settings in Chrome. But anyways, I'll just say I'm Jake. I'm here. It's cool. Let me open up on this. Yeah, I can't bring over other screens. Let me see how I can fix this. Here, the entire screen. That's why. Okay. This screen here is a share. Okay, now you can see my other screens. Okay, so if I go to local host 5173, cool. But I want to join the same meeting, right? So I'll enter in this meeting code right here, and this kind of like will control the session in my database. So this is an active session chart. So I should theoretically be able to vibe code this, where it's going to say, okay, this is a new participant, add them into the same session, and WebRTC should handle the rest for me from there. Real-time communication. So like WebSockets, when you look at WebSockets, you do like a 101 upgrade, and then there's an endpoint communication between like there's a server, there may be a server, but it will route that traffic to the correct participants or the correct servers. Yeah, this is what I'm trying to do right here. Signal served going browser 1, browser B, or browser A, browser B, data channel, and peer-to-peer media connection. So if I go back to this, and if I can just join the meeting, cool, my video is working on Chrome. I've allowed the permissions there, but if you look at the people, it's only one person here. It's just me. But I don't see, let me see if I can do this. gotta download like a different tool, maybe on this keyboard. There we go. And then this guy over here. This one is saying there's one participant as well, but they're the same meeting link. So let me see if I can pull this guy over here, because I'm asking Claude this right now. I'll actually just stop this server here, and then I'll ask Claude, kind of try to explain. I'm trying to figure this out. In the financial world, banking world, touching AI and having it do your products, we have applications like Copilot, and Copilot's good, but it's not as good as Claude or X or even Gemini. Gemini is pretty good too. I'm enjoying Claude right now, but if we can create workflows, maybe some later point I'll start pulling out anti-gravity again and creating those different workflows to do like the design, the project management, the coding, and security testing, and then be able to give me a report at the end. Those are taking a little bit longer. I'm pretty much enjoying right now creating the product rather than creating the workflow. So maybe as I get more used to that, I'll try that out. But let me see themselves. Now let's see what this guy's going to give us here. So I would like to do this stuff a little bit more, but time isn't on my side as much right now these days. Found a little bit of time this past week. All right, so like this is the one thing about like vibe coding I'm starting to notice right now when I'm talking to people. They'll just let this prompt run and it'll be running for a while. And then that kind of distracts you. If you've ever noticed when you're developing something, you might code up factor some business logic, API call, maybe something in performance related, and then you run up your server again. Especially like something that's going to be compiled. You might have to compile it and then deploy it to the environment you're trying to test in. If you can test locally, great. That saves you tons of time. But if you have to deploy it, you got a lot of idle time sitting there if you don't have the proper way of getting that out quickly. There could be like a series of tests depending on how large your application is. Maybe you only need it to go to like one environment, but that's still going to take you creating the pull request in a corporate environment or an enterprise environment, getting that approved if you have to deploy from a particular branch. If you deploy from your develop branch and you're not sharing like your resources, you can maybe get away with that. But if you're using a shared resource, then it's messaging the team. And then in all that time, you're spending a lot of time just trying to get something out and going. And that's kind of what I feel like with this right now. Like, if I knew the code intimately, I would know exactly where to start looking at it. But because I for this project here, I just jumped right into it and told Claude, hey, let's start making a Zoom clone. This is what it's giving me. So just talking about, while we're waiting with that one, I was looking at those like boot.dev. This was really cool because I'm wondering where education is going to be going in the future. And by the way, the school that I was attending was OSU. It's paid for by paid for. It's completely free through my work. Um, and like I said, I've never studied computer science. I took like a few courses and like a web development course in high school and discrete mathematics in my undergrad and another CS class, but that's just like scratching the surface, in my opinion. Discrete mathematics is kind of fun, a lot of logic. You can either take like philosophy, there's a logic course typically in philosophy departments, or you can take discrete mathematics where you're going to have to actually use some um, more mathematical notation versus like logical notation and then start doing proofs. But this caught my eye. I think the school's pretty good, to be honest. But I've done tons of reading and tons of development in the past 10 years where I kind of wanted to get a credential for us program classes. Which are that? Schedule classes. I think this is not even the full thing. This is just Oregon. I'm trying to look for the post-bac program. I guess I could just type in curriculum. Let's see how this guy's going. See, it's still going. Alright. Let's see. This is not the curriculum still. Computer science right here, okay. Undergraduate, yes. And the idea is like some of these universities, like the one I went to, require a particular amount of classes, so I've completed those to apply for my master's. And I'm taking a break on that idea of doing a master's program. Um, I'm kind of looking at everyone's going to get their master's these days, and when I look at, I've done a lot of interviews in my career. Um, the people that do the best are going to be the ones that have an undergraduate degree, and that's kind of what caught my eye to do this first. They are probably the most competent, in my opinion, when it comes to the actual software development. But now with AI coding, and everyone talking about do you need software development, going a little bit deeper into some of these topics may not be as useful or may not yield the return that someone might be expecting. And it's probably going to be lower. And like I said, you can honestly just pick up these books and you'll probably go into as much depth. The thing that you're going to lack is if you're just going to do self-reading is like the exercises that these programs will require of you to do the machine problems and studying for the exam. So you can kind of like anyone who's went through higher education knows that you're going to take a course and then you're going to just study for that course, cram for it, pass the exams, and the second you're done, if you did not like the material or you don't like the way that the instructor presented it and you just didn't like the class, or just if anything happened in life, the second the course is done, regardless of your grade, unless you get like a D and you have to retake it, or if you get a C and you want to improve your grade, you forget all the material. It does not matter. I've seen this so many times with candidates that have like 4.0 GPAs or so they claim. That when I ask them about networking or if I ask them about like web security, they kind of give me a blank stare. They don't know the OSI layer 7 model or even the TCP over IP layer 4 abstraction of the networking model. And these are just like abstractions or like how does a packet travel through the network. These things I think are somewhat important when we're doing debugging or understanding where traffic's coming from. So you could just try getting experience doing that, and this I've done the HTTP server with Golang here. It's insightful. Probably suggest the C if you can find like a C version of that. But if you don't know any programming at all and you're looking to jump into it, maybe start somewhere here. Unless you can do like OSU for free, then yeah, do OSU for free or like any college for free. Do that. That's going to be a better credential. But if you don't, don't shell out 30 grand for this. It's not going to get you a job in this climate. You need some experience. Uh, calculus ready to gain. Yeah, you don't need that. Where's the curriculum? I'm struggling with this one, guys. All right. Anyways, whatever. Enough of that. Yeah, sure. Let's do this one. Cool. You want to make these edits? Let's see. This is what like. It's just so tempting just to hit yes throughout these. Get this guy back up over here. This one's still in. Oh yeah, of course it's still doing that. This is what I'm talking about. I'm even getting interrupted or distracted right now. Yes. All edits. Just do all edits. See what it's going to give me. I'm not very serious about this one, but. Fixed it. Let's read the fixes in a second here, and then I have to go do a school pickup actually. Got 1 minute. This is not good. I gotta run. What did we do? Now restart the dev server. Okay. The client byte critical added WebSocket proxy. Without this, the socket IO was trying to connect to byte servers on port 5173 instead of the back end. Right. So we have a front end and we have a back end. And what I was pulling up was the front end here, but the back end servers weren't connecting here. So that's one issue that it found. Remove the reverse chat history. I don't know if that's important. Maybe it was just the order of the chat that it's talking about right there. Okay, yeah. Let's try this then. Let me pull this one up in a different tab just so I can keep Claude open. I just call it like a Zoom clone, so dev. What is it going to give me? What is it going to give me? Alright, so if I pull these guys back, yeah, that restarted, this restarted. That's still not working, but that doesn't mean it doesn't work. This is Jake's meeting, so that's good. I went onto one browser. I think it cached my name. Typical, that's what we did at Zoom, so you wouldn't have to re-enter that multiple times. We actually had like a context where we would auto-populate it, and if you didn't have that context, you would just automatically be prompted to enter your screen. There's some issues with that, but nothing like major. So let me start a meeting over here. Cool. This is my meeting now. Cool. Let me give this meeting over here. On Firefox to the left. Meeting. Awesome. Let me mute myself so I can hear audio on both sides. This one just, I don't hear audio. This is Firefox, so that's probably why. That works. Yes. Chat. Hi. Awesome. This is pretty sweet that I was able just within like an hour get this up and running. So what I'm going to do next is kind of like restyle it a little bit. I need to make sure that there's no security flaws. But yeah, awesome.